Good morning, Karma Collector here. All right, guys, listen to me, man. They blew up another refinery, or started on fire, or are causing disruptions at another major refinery in Louisiana again. Okay, not long back we had one in Port Arthur. We had another one somewhere in California where they were storing fuel and stuff. How about the major one that was blown up in Australia? Major one in Mexico. Major one in Canada. They're blowing them up, guys. They are destroying our energy supply, the natural gas and oil. They're doing it on purpose. Of course, they can keep it in the ground for them and for later, but they're destroying all of this. They're destroying all of the refineries little by little, and you can pull as much oil you want out of the ground. It doesn't matter. It all has to be refined. It doesn't matter if it's the crudest, sweetest, lightest like we have in America here under us. They all have to be refined some kind of way. A lot of stuff we pull out, we send to other countries to refine and shit. Okay? But they all have to be refined somewhere. So what they do is they're blowing up the refineries. Because again, you're not going to pull any oil out if you can't refine it. Okay? And as long as they keep it capped and in the ground, they still got it down there, man, for them. And they have plenty stored under the cities. They got plenty of natural gas and oil for them stored, okay? What's happening right now, guys, is they are selling our strategic oil supply that we're supposed to keep in case emergencies come. They are selling it. All these countries are sending oil tankers over, and Trump's bragging about it. Like we have endless supplies of natural gas and oil. No. There's a finite amount of everything, okay? And he's bragging about all these beautiful oil tankers lining up. Yeah, because they can't get any through the Strait of Hormuz. You guys, the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the oil and natural gas comes through there. I think more natural gas. And it's been totally disrupted. They're lying to you about everything, man. But they're doing this on purpose, guys. America's elites and Iran's elites are working together to do this. They don't care about us. They want to crush us, depopulate us, have us on our knees, have us all poor and sick and begging and all this shit. That's where they want us, so they can ultimately control us. That is what this is about, guys. Okay? And I got a couple videos that are going to be in the description for YouTube. If I release this on TikTok, I don't even know how to do that. All right? I just recently learned how to fucking delete a comment on TikTok from a viewer told me how. All right? Sorry, guys. I'm not good at this shit like that. I don't know. I know. I'm not tech savvy at all, but I'm asking you to believe me. But anyway, I don't know how to do that. But over on YouTube, if this is YouTube, in the description below, there'll be 2 videos. All right? Which I'll talk about in a minute. Well, one of the videos is going to show you that the refinery that caught on fire and all this shit in Louisiana, a major one that refines 190,000 barrels of oil a day. That's pretty significant. All right? So they're selling out our oil strategic supply. So we'll just be out. All right? The other countries are doing it too. All right? They're just going to cap off. And don't you guys see what's going on with Iran? How we're striking Iran's oil and gas infrastructure, and then what they're doing is they're turning around and they're hitting all the places in the Gulf region there, Bahrain and Kuwait and the UAE and all the places that produce oil, but they all have U.S. bases there, and they're all under the West. So what they're doing is they're making it like, okay, well, you're hitting our shit, so we can't reach America with our missiles, so we're going to hit them. They're taking out the oil and natural gas infrastructure, and they're doing it on purpose right in front of us, and they're doing it all together. You guys, this is all a big plan, all right? And again, okay, the 2 videos that you're going to see. One of them is just a video showing you the report on that other one in Louisiana that they just caught on fire again today that I talked about. There's one video for that. And then the other video is a letter that was written from Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason, over to a person named Mazzini, who is a general in Italy, I guess, who is also a 33rd degree Freemason. Now, people refer to this letter that he wrote in 1871, Albert Pike wrote to Mazzini, they refer to this as a prediction. Albert Pike made these predictions in 1871, and look, World War I came out just like he said it would, and so did World War II. Well, that's because they're not predictions, guys. None of this is predictions. They have to tell us what they're going to do. Just like you guys are so cute with The Simpsons. Oh, The Simpsons predicted that too. The Simpsons aren't predicting anything, guys. The head writers of The Simpsons are Freemasons, and they make no bones about it. All right? And they are telling us what they have to do, what they're going to do is they have to. Lucifer has convinced them all that as long as you tell us what you're doing in art form, in an abstract way, it doesn't matter. If we don't fucking figure it out, the warning and that that's on us then. You guys, all of it has been. George Orwell, 1984, Animal Farm, warnings. All of them have been. The Handmaid's Tale, all of those people. The bitch that wrote that, Margaret Atwood, she's an Eastern Star, Freemason woman. She was told to do that, to show them this is what's coming. It won't be like The Handmaid's Tale, but it'll be different because it's abstract, guys. This is what they have to do. They feel if they tell us and we don't act on it, that's our problem. And Lucifer has convinced them that. Well, that's just the way the world goes. And if you tell them, it's cool. Just do whatever you want to them. You told them. All right. Okay, so the other video is the actual letter that Albert Pike wrote to Mazzini, telling him the plan. Not predicting it. He's telling one Freemason to the other, a fraternal brother, the plan. The plan of the 3 world wars. And the third one is to bring about the great societal cataclysm. Because, guys, this is the 4th turning, or the 4th industrial revolution. They're going to take it now to everything digital. Everything. Okay? That's what they're going to do. They're going to shut everything down and bring it back up digital. We're going to all have to have digital IDs. We're going to have one digital deal on the internet. You can't make more anonymous accounts and make a bunch of emails and do all this. You're going to have one that's going to be tied to your real identity and biometrics and all that, or you can't get on the internet with it. You won't be able to sign onto the internet without biometrics. Okay? There will be no more attorney court and all that and teaching. This is now slowly they'll ease us into it. But eventually we're going to have the cops are going to be robots and drones flying around that know us all by facial recognition. They're going to have us. It's illegal. First, they got us addicted to our phones. You can say you're not, but we're all addicted to the phones, and they did that on purpose. They were able to do it. All right? And they're going to make it to where you have to have your phones on you at all time. They have a big chart where they can see every heartbeat. All right? And it's going to get to the point where if there's a heartbeat and there's no device within so many feet, that's illegal, and they're going to send someone to you. Because whether you know it or not, your phones using infrared are taking pictures of you every 10 seconds and listening to everything you say. And they store it. It's all stored somewhere. That's why they need all these data centers to store all this immense data to control us. This is what's coming, guys. And you're going to order all your food and everything online, unless you're a wealthy elite. See, this is like all their stores, like you want to go in Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom's or whatever, those stores are going to be, physical stores are going to be locked. And you have to have a key or a card to get in there. And only people that are wealthy enough to afford the exorbitant, what they're going to do is they're just going to say, well, anyone can come in here, but you have to sign up and you have to, and you have to register and you're going to have to pay. It's going to be some crazy, I already seen the plans, guys. I've seen lots of their plans, man. It's going to be some exorbitant fee, like you got to pay $25,000 a year or something. What normal people can't do. But then it's going to be this. But if you do so much, whatever, at the end of the year, we're going to refund you 80% of that or whatever. You understand? So then they don't have to shop with the poor trash like us anymore, the profane. We're going to order our shit at home, and that's going to be that. But see, they're not going to say it's illegal. It's just you got to pay to do everything, or you got to be a member to do anything. This is what they have planned, guys, and they have to take it down in a great cataclysm, and that's their plan. So I'm asking you, if you've ever done anything, please watch these videos. I'm telling you, the one video in there is just the reading of the actual letter, and it's just a video that shows the actual words up on the screen, and this is the actual letter. Please watch this, guys. It's a couple minutes. It's just the reading of the letter explaining the 3 world wars they're going to do. Albert Pike is telling this in 1871, guys. In 1871, he tells us about the 3 world wars they're going to do. And why? All to get to the plan in the end, which is now. We're in the 3rd one now. World War III started on February 28th of 2026, and that is what you'll hear in the history books down the line. February 28th of 2026. That's when World War III started. Now, I'm just going to go over real quick what the video says. And if you guys remember how history went, you'll see that it's spot on. And it was in 1871. When was World War I? In the 1900 in the teens, 1914 to 1918 or some shit like that. Then when was World War II? 1939 to 1945, right? Okay. This letter was written in 1871. Please view it. All right. He's going to say the First World War is to permit the Illuminati. The Illuminati and the Luciferian Brotherhood it's all the same. Okay. It's the Jesuits, the Freemasons, Skull and Bones. It's all the secret societies, the Catholic Church, and the monarchies. Okay. Basically all together running the world behind our back. Okay. And then anyone they bring into it, like these Hollywood actors and these musicians that kiss the ring and get all this money, and they're idols. They're the idols. They're bread and circuses to keep us busy. They've been doing this the whole time, man. Okay? Same families. Same evil families. They just repackage it. Everyone's related. They're all fucking related. It's disgusting. All right. So the First World War is to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the powers of the Tsar of Russia and make it an atheistic communist country. And that's exactly what they did, guys. You remember? Tsar Nicholas and his wife and their 5 children, they had the daughter Anastasia. Prior to that, Russia was a Christian country. It was a Christian, Eastern Orthodox. Well, you know that what they did is they went in there, they overthrew him, all right. They killed him and his whole fucking family. They took Anastasia away, and who knows what they did with her, right? I think I know what they did with her. But that's exactly what happened, guys. He wrote this letter in 1871, and watch the video, please. That's exactly what happens. Okay, Russia now again, now that it's back to Russia, not the Soviet Union, is now a Christian nation again. It is Eastern Orthodox. And whether you want to believe it or not, Vladimir Putin is for real a Christian. He cares about what God thinks about him. That's why he hasn't just destroyed Ukraine like that, because he doesn't want to kill all his brothers and sisters. He doesn't kill civilians like they lie and tell you. No, Ukraine and America and Israel and Britain, they kill civilians. Russia views those Ukrainian Slavs as his brothers and sisters. That's why. Don't listen to this Western propaganda. They're liars, man. All right? And they said it's going to be fomented, World War I, between the British and Germanic empires. And isn't that what happened? Of course it was, right? Because isn't that exactly what happened? Yes, it is. Okay, then the Second World War, they're going to tell you, is bringing about the difference between the fascists and political Zionists. Now, the political Zionists are what? All the freaks that believe in this fake Israel of the synagogue of Satan. Guys, real ancient Israel was in Africa. It's Ethiopia, Uganda, and Sudan is Greater Israel. They're lying. They erased all the history and changed everything during the Dark Ages. What do you think the Dark Ages was? When they tell us in high school and college and middle, oh, we don't know what happened for those fucking 1,000 years. There's no writings, we don't know what happened. That's because Lucifer made it to where only the elites could learn to read and write. No one else could. And they destroyed all the real history and got rid of everything and started to bring in their own. Right? And then what happens later down the line? The Enlightenment, the period of Enlightenment came. Well, who's the light bearer? Lucifer. He brought us the light. That's when the theory of evolution and space and all that came. All the lies. So we have a secular worldview and not a biblical worldview. We believe that, we don't believe that God created us and created things. Just shit popped out of nowhere. Something big banged and then shit just grew out of nothing. Okay, do you understand now? Real Israel is not there. That's in the middle of the desert. God wouldn't have put all that shit there. Israel depends, 90% of their water is through salination. They desalinate the fucking, do you think they had that back then? Of course they didn't. I want you to look in Africa, okay? I want you to look at a lake called Lake Victoria and another one called Lake Albert. Well, how come all the other names of everything have African sounding names, except for those two? Why? Because Lake Victoria was the real Sea of Galilee, and Lake Albert was the real River Jordan. Go look on the map. That's the truth. Because Prince Albert and Queen Victoria, were married, and she was reigning. Okay? So they changed those rivers. That used to be called the Sea of Galilee there and the River Jordan, and they changed it to after them. And they moved all these fake artifacts and shit up to Israel, and they're pretending that fucking desert is where Jesus was and died and was born. No, it was in Africa, man. The whole thing's fake and bullshit. During the Dark Ages, they moved artifacts there. Have you guys ever heard of the League, Israel, look this up, where they plant trees? They have a thing where it's the Israel League, or I don't know what it's called, but look it up. They have a thing where they plant millions of trees every year and have been since 1901. Why is that, I wonder? to make it more look like how the Bible described the surroundings in ancient Israel. Wasn't a fucking desert. Talks about green plush and all this shit. It was in Africa and they know it. So any Zionist freaks are that of the synagogue of Satan. It's all fake and it's all bullshit. Okay. The real ancient Israelites were black, not Arab. Black. All right. So the Second World War is the difference between the fascists and political Zionists, like I said. The fascists were what? They're Germans. Political Zionists were Britain and America's evil government and Britain's evil government to bring up evil Israel. I've told you Lucifer runs those three countries. They're the three heads of the snake. The great Satan is Britain, which America is just an extension of the British Empire. We just pretended that we broke away from them. Well, how come the Revolutionary War was both sides were funded by the fucking Rothschild family? And that's a fact and everyone knows it. All right. So the Second World War was to defeat Nazism, supposedly, but that's a whole nother video. They didn't defeat it. They brought it to America and hid them. And brought them to Argentina and hid them. Okay, so that was to bring up and then to create. They said they're going to create they're going to install an Israel in Palestine. And that's exactly what they did. And he's telling them this in a letter in 1871. These aren't predictions. This is him telling them what's going to happen. And they did it. Okay? To make a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine because it's a fake Israel. Okay? And then it comes to the third and final social cataclysm, which is what we're in right now, the beginnings of, okay? When the whole world, whether the third world is going to be between the political Zionists and the Muslim world. The fake Jews of the synagogue of Satan and all the people that believe in that fake Zionist shit against the Muslims. And you see what they're doing, okay? Listen to me now. Iran are Shiite Muslims, okay? Saudi and most of the other places are Sunni. The Sunni are the more mellowed out ones. The Shiite ones are more hardcore, right? Well, these sects of Islam have always kind of feuded or whatever. What they're doing is now they're going to manipulate this until all those Muslim countries all unite. Okay? They're not going to worry about their difference between Shiite and Sunni anymore. And they're going to come against the political Zionists, the fake Jews of synagogue. Do you understand? And that's what they're setting up right now with this fake Iran shit with America. It's all fake, guys. And it's to shut us down in this great cataclysm with the oil and our food. You guys, this is what I'm telling you, man. Please. Because if nothing else, our food and energy is going to go through the roof. Your electric bills, your gas bills are going to double. Your water bills are going to go up. And all your food. You think food went high up in COVID? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Our food is going to go up so high. Meat, you're not even going to be able to afford meat. Okay? I'm going off on tangents. But anyway, please watch the video because it explains it. And then it says, in the end of the cataclysm, the point of this is to get the Muslims and the Jews and the whole rest of the world fighting with one another until the whole world is forced to exhaustion physically, morally, spiritually, and economically. Okay? That's the plan. And it's in the fucking video. It's a letter in 1871. The first two world wars went exactly like they said. And right now we're headed into exactly what they said. And they're going to use this hantavirus now to lock us down. And say, oh, well, to cover up the energy thing until they really put the screws to us. This is also going to give them the opportunity now, when they lock us down, to be able to start printing a bunch of money again. To make inflation really go through the roof. You think they printed all that money for us during COVID just to be nice, just to help us? Giving people on unemployment an extra $600 a week on top of their unemployment? They didn't do that to be nice, guys. They did that to hyperinflate the money and make it do what it's doing now. But it's going to get really worse, man. And I'm asking you to please get, so you don't have, I don't want any of you to have your little kids looking at you. Why don't we have any food or nothing to drink? What are you talking about? We don't know suffering. We don't know hardships in America. Now, I know some of you that have been pouring all you, yeah, you, whatever, but you don't know really what it is, okay? None of you know really what it is, what these other people in these countries in the Middle East and parts of Asia and Africa know. They know how to suffer and they can do it. We can't here. Good times make weak men. Good, easy times make weak men. And that is the problem here. Okay? And you're going to see people do nothing but panic and freak out. And they all have guns, though, these weak men. And it's easy to shoot a gun. And when your kids are hungry, you're going to do whatever to get food. I promise you. If I still had little kids and it got to, I'd do whatever I had. I'd break into a bitch's house and take their shit. I'm sorry, I would. If my kids were starving and crying and I can't eat. I don't want you in this position, man. Please, get some ramen noodles, some rice and beans, and some water at the very least, and just get some canned goods. Do what you can, man, and put it up. Because I'm telling you, if nothing else, everything's going to be so expensive, you're going to be choosing between your electric bill and food. Some of you. Some of you. So please, watch these videos and understand that this letter was written in 1871 before any of this shit happened. And the first two is exactly how it went down. And the beginnings of what they're saying, the third, is happening right now. Please listen to me and prepare, man. And please don't trust this evil fucking government. None of them. They're all working together to do this to us. They want to depopulate us. They want us on our knees. They're going to take down our internet, our electricity, our water, and everything. And now they've got this fucking virus. And I'm afraid, because they made it so blatant with the first fake pandemic that it was fake and bullshit, I'm afraid now that this one here, they're going to start dropping this fucking pathogen on us out of airplanes and start infecting public places and all this with this virus, which they're going to create in a lab and say it's the fucking hantavirus, and one that will actually go from person to person and kill us at a 30% rate. And I'm afraid that this one they're going to do for real, and we're all going to be like, no, it's bullshit again. Okay? I'm telling you, man, something's not right with this, how they're doing this. And, oh, it's nothing to worry about, this and that and the other. Because, guys, the real hantavirus, even this Andes one, only the Andes one is person to person, they say. But, guys, listen, you have to take in the rat shit dust, then it incubates in you. If you have it, you can't run around then and pass it to a bunch of different people. It's not like that, man. It's hard to pass, and you will be able to pass it to one or two people on your own. But then after that, unless those secondary people you pass it to then came into contact with the rat shit and dust themselves, I don't think at that point then they have enough viral load to pass it on to other people. But they're going to frame it like that. They're going to frame it like, oh, it's in droplets, and when you can just walk by a bitch and catch it. I'm afraid they're going to do this. I hope I'm wrong about this, man. But this would solve the oil thing. Oh, there's no demand for oil now. All right? And we'll get us in a lockdown situation again, guys. And then it'll be easy for them to just say, oh, Russia hit the cables, or Iran broke the cables, and now we don't have any internet. Iran and Russia are blowing up our oil refineries. Our government's blowing up those oil refineries. Okay, guys, pay attention, man. Pay attention, and please get prepared, man. Get some alternate way to cook shit. I have one of those Coleman gas stoves with some propane gas. I got grills to put in the fucking backyard. I'm telling you, man, they're going to put us in a real hurting, and it's going to be when we least expect it, man. See you in the next video, guys.